with the internet. I am Don Sanders, and I am joined by Alex Garcia from Distributor Central. And we want to thank everybody for turning in today for Sell 100 Orders in 2 months. And the reason that I have selected that as the title for our webinar is I think everybody wants to learn how to get new customers. And if we're going to sell 100 orders in 2 months, we're going to have to get more business from our current customers. And we're also going to have to be able to find a lot of new customers. So I'm going to show you exactly how I would do that at this time. And I'd like for you to look at all the logos of the suppliers on the screen. I'm going to mention something about them, all of them in this webinar. But know that every supplier that is involved with these webinars is top-notch and is not somebody that I would just pitch for money, but do it because I actually buy from them and recommend them. And the biggest problem that I think that we have today with distributors is they're lying to sell orders. And I think that's one of the worst things in the world you can do, because people don't know how to sell. They see somebody buying something, they think, well, if I lie about the order, I can sell it cheaper, I can get it faster or whatever. They put themselves in a position where that's not going to happen. So don't be dishonest with people. If you cannot do an order, just be honest with it and say you can't do it. But don't make up something. Like if you go to call on somebody, I'm going to talk about bottled water in a little bit, and if bottled water is 8 weeks on delivery, don't say you can get it in 5 weeks and then go to Alexa Springs and enter the order, and even though they've told you 8 weeks, you want it in 5, and then blame it on them. This is happening every day in the industry. I know, because distributors call me or email me wanting to know, well, I can't get this order done. So let's keep it honest. If you'll do that, you'll sell more orders, and in the long term, you'll turn out better. And here's a great key tag sample offer on the screen right here. I can have you get a key tag sample kit from Quickie, info@quickie.com. It's just a wonderful, wonderful supplier. So if you lie to people, if you do, your orders will not turn out as demanded. You can't make suppliers process orders. But if you have somebody who wants to buy a quick order and you don't know where to get it, I've worked with Innovation Line forever. They have over 100 products on their website that can be shipped in 1 day. So if you've got a customer who really wants something and you can't get it, you've got the alternative to turn around and say, well, you know what? Here's 100 products I can get you in a day. Turn it on your customer that things are the way they are, but you're offering them a solution of selling them those products. Now here is Alex. If you have not seen him before, he is one of the smartest people I know as far as internet work. He has worked for Distributor Central forever. He is going to share his screen and do a small little presentation on how Distributor Central can help you. Then I will be back with my screen. We will do the webinar, and then at the end, we will have our questions and answers. So the question and answer thing is on. Ask your questions, and I will be frank, and so will Alex, and we'll tell you exactly what we think. So are you ready, Alex?
Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a software support specialist over here at Distributor Central. Today, I just want to kind of go over some, brief things about DC if you're new to it, if you haven't been on in a while. And then I'll give you a chance at the end to contact us, and there'll also be a QR code. So if, like I said, if you haven't been on in a while, you can scan it and fill out for a free account. So basically what Distributor Central is we're an online e-commerce platform that brings the distributors and suppliers together, and we are sponsored by the top suppliers in the industry, so we're able to offer all our services to distributors at no charge, and that includes free and limited websites, order management tools, product presentations, and many more. So basically what I want to do is quickly show you an example of the dashboard. And then we'll go over kind of the different presentation types that we have real quick. So basically, once you get your account, you'll log in, and this will be your main hub, your dashboard. We can place orders, track your orders, do everything you want. So I'm going to go into the product search here. And like Don said, let's say you're looking for a 24-hour turnaround time Innovation Line. Innovation Line is one of our preferred suppliers. So you can come down here and you can go in the filtering menu over here, go down to view more suppliers, and you'll see all the suppliers that currently have products in DC. I'm going to type in Innovation Line, hit save, and now it's going to filter it out. And then let me clear this out real quick because I was already doing something here. And then let's say that you want to create a list real quick. So like, in Don, he had the carabiner. Maybe you want to do like a holder here, or some sunglasses, and a keychain. And as you can see, as I click to add to list, it's dropping you'll see the little animation drop it into what's called our product list tool. And then when you're ready, you can click on it. You can see all 4 products are here. And from here, you have an option to email products. So you can email your product to your customer and they'll receive it in an email. You can create a quote, which will give your customer the ability to see all the details of the products. And quotes usually used for if you know like the quantity you want. Email products is more for if you just want to send them a general overview of the breakdown and pricing. You can also customize the quote, put your own images in there, put your logo on the quote. Last thing you can do is you can create a presentation. So if you come over here and you just click Save As, and we'll call this one 24-hour products, click Save. And now we can add it to a website, which we have a presentation website already built, ready to go. Our products, and then you'll pick from your website list, which my customer presentation products, add to website, click close. And now when we go to our websites and we go to our presentation, and this would be something that you could send to your customer where they could pull it up on any platform, mobile, tablet, desktop, or laptop, and of course desktop. You would just send them the link and it would have their logo on here. You can put their logo on here. And it's just something quick and simple where they can look at and it's customized to them, and then they can get back to you. It's connected back to your account and let you know if they like any products. So I just wanted to show you that little quick tool that we have, with many more tools, like I said, that we have in general. But that was just one of them. And then like it always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can call us at 888-516-7401 or email us at info@distributorcentral.com. And then at the very end, you'll see my personal email. You can feel free to email me too directly if you want. There's the QR code I was telling you about. You can just pull out your phone and scan it real quick. I'll leave it here for a second. And then we can see if you have an account. If you're not sure you have an account, we can find your old account, reactivate it for you, or get you started on a new account. But Don, I will get it back over to you.
That's very cool, Alex. That was a great way to show how that works. I think that's neat.
Give it just a couple more seconds in case they're scanning it.
Okay.
All right. Should be coming back to you, Don.
Okay, cool. All right.
I can see your screen. Good to go.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're back to the lying about orders, and I'm real serious about this. I don't know how to tell you that any more than I do. Please don't do this. It's almost gotten to be a real problem in the industry. And the reason that distributors lie to sell orders is because I think they lack one or all of those 7 things that are on the screen. Their selling skills are bad. Their product knowledge is awful. They have no confidence. They don't have relationships with suppliers. They're not very creative. They don't have very good accounts. And they don't know anything about social media. Well, that's kind of pitiful, but you've got to know about those 7 things if you want to sell these orders. And one of the good things about things being the way they are is every time that the economy got bad or we had these things going on that affect every business, it made me have to be more creative. And the good thing about it is every time we've had a problem in the economy or something going bad, I've had to think differently than the way I was before. And in 1993 or 94, I lost my biggest account, which was the Dallas Times Herald. and they were probably doing 30% of their 30% of my volume. So I had to get creative. I had to develop a bounce back card program that I did, which I created scissor cards. We sent those out to a list of people that we had determined would be buyers. If they returned the card, we went and visited them and brought them a custom scissor box. I know this sounds odd, but I had an 8% return on those cards that we'd send out. On another occasion, I had to change my promotional, the way I was presenting myself. So I started doing seed paper business cards from Gympire. So don't look at today as being a really funky time. Look at today as a way to improve those 7 things that I'm talking about and get better at what you do. And I'm not going to leave you hanging on that bounce back card program. I'm going to tell you a little bit more on how to do it later in the show. So I'll tell you exactly the way that I was doing that. One reason distributors are not truthful about deliveries is because they let buyers control the sale. That means a buyer will come to them and say, I saw this product on a website, can you get it? Well, that's not the position you want to be in. Like right there, a person has emailed a distributor saying they'd found that bag at the top left on Etsy. Can you help me with pricing for it? Well, that's not going to be a bag on Etsy that you can get a quantity of that can be imprinted. Maybe you buy a one-off on that, but to keep that from happening, suggest products ahead of time. Show customers what they can get, not what they want. If you lose control of your sale and you start letting the customer dictate what they're buying, you're dead in today's market. Now, there are 2 great flyers on the screen from Southern Plus, like the Aruba Toad and the Sand, Sea, and Sun. I would have started sending those out to my customers back in April, ahead of time for everybody who maybe wanted to buy a bag for the summer. That way I'm protected when somebody came back and says, well, I want this bag. You could say, well, we can't get it, but I can get you this. I don't know how to say that, but anyway, besides what I just did. And with fall coming ahead, to-go containers are going to be in demand. So you need to be proactive about that now for tailgating, people on the go, people going to fall leaf peeking trips, wherever they're going. But like Yeti is a problem. Yeti is a great product, but you can't get Yeti. So what I do is anybody that I think would be buying a product like Yeti, I am going to them and telling them to buy Thermos. Snugs has Thermos. They have those products. They can ship them. Get ahead of your customers and tell them to start looking at Thermos instead of Yeti. If you'll do that, you've got to fall back on a product you can get, and it makes your customer think that you're an authority and gets you ahead of the game. And another instance of that happening right now is I don't know what to do about these viruses. They just keep coming, one after another. And I think it's going to be like this forever. So right now, Gympire has got the best mask I've seen in the industry because you can breathe through the thing without fogging up your glasses, and it doesn't suffocate you. It's on the left. And then on the right, you can have accessories. Put on these masks with logos on them to keep them up off your ears, to keep them better on your face. Gympire has these. Email Harvey at gympire.com and say, Harvey, Don told me about these masks and these mask accessories. Get ahead of this. Get those samples and start showing them to customers today. That way, when they come back here in 6 weeks and we're back in the same thing we were, you are ahead and you have the solution. That is how you sell in today's market. Also, your social media has got to be up to date. So let me tell you about how to use social media. Use realtors to increase your social media presence. Realtors need promotional products as bad as anybody to promote themselves, and they need mats specifically to keep open houses clean. Alexandra Smith here, I found her on the D Magazine website. There's her phone numbers. Also, her email address is shown on that site. There's 110 realtors at Alexandra's office. And the way I came up with her is D Magazine posts these best of lists all the time. I take D Magazine monthly. This is where I find my customers. Local publications provide information for you to find people to call on. That D Magazine article had at least 1,000 realtors in it. There's one page of it from one real estate office. I have those people's email, I have their phone. So this is a whole list of clients that I can start contacting based off of them all working in one office. These type of lists, finding these type of clients, it's a great way to build a bounce back card mailing list, just like I talked to you about before. But get a customer base. Start with realtors. Realtors need products. You can deliver it out to their to open houses before they're there. Then you can follow up with them while they're in the open house. But that's the way I'm looking for new customers. Now let's talk about the social media. I have been pitching promo social posts for the last 6 webinars. Greg Blumstein is a distributor just like me, trying to help other distributors. He publishes monthly newsletters that you can purchase that he will send to your list for you. He also does product pitch features like the one I'm showing there on the screen. He'll do an absolute month for you for free. Greg at promosocialpost.com. I know I'm going fast here, but I really believe in social media. So if you want to know about Greg, there's a little story about exactly what he does. I'm going to conclude the webinar with his logo again, so you'll be able to catch his email. But if you'll have a consistent program for operating social media, you can use that for those realtors. I'm going to talk about calling on dentists. You can use it on them. Get some help, and Greg can help you. Now, let's stop losing orders to dishonest sellers. We were talking about those distributors that we compete with that are not honest with people. I went to the Chicago ASI show, and I stayed at the Hyatt in a Hyatt property in North Chicago, and there was boxed water in the room at $7 a box, if you can believe this, with the biggest lies on that box I have ever seen. Boxed water is better, $7 a box. Why is the boxed water better? Well, they're claiming that the box is easier to, that the box is recyclable. The box is easier to make than plastic water bottles. Well, that is not true. Plus, notice the word purified on that box. This is the biggest made up story I've ever seen. Alexis Springs, who I always pitch in my webinars, makes their own plastic bottles up in Mount Ida, Arkansas. They're made in that little green building up there at the top right. There, those bottles go down the line about to be imprinted. It takes less energy to make a plastic bottle than it does a box of water. Plus, the water in Alexis Springs bottles is a natural spring water. It is not purified. That's another issue on selling water. Stop losing these orders to dishonest sellers. One of the things that I always talk about in these webinars is that water sold by many suppliers was sewer water, since it comes from a municipal water source. Distributors don't know that. And of course, that supplier who sold that distributor that bottled water for Grand Bank, they didn't tell them that that water was not natural spring water. It was once sewer water that was filtered to death. Won't kill you, but it doesn't taste very good. These are all hints on how to deal with dishonest water sellers, boxed water sellers, and bogus suppliers. It will tell you anything to get your business. If you'd like to have spring water samples, Brian at alexissprings.com. Just send him an email. Say, Sanders told me you would send me some spring water samples, and I guarantee you he will do that. Now, a lot of times distributors will ask me about which buying group to use. And I've known David Blaze for more than 20 years. He works with AIM, who has a great buying group program. So if lower pricing from suppliers is something that you require, let David Blaze make that happen for you. There's his 800 phone number on the screen. There is his email, and then there's a little video, smarteqp.com/Don, that you can watch. This is like $75 a month, best value in the world. So people that ask me, Don, which buying group should I belong to? I always tell them to go to David because I trust him. Now, another way to sell more orders is by not selling on price. Never cheaper, always better. Don't be the I sell cheaper than you type person. Provide value, not lower prices. The reason being is people that buy cheap products are buying cheap products. They might be buying mugs with broken handles. They're buying products that are imprinted in toxic inks, bags that handles break, pens that leak ink. All these products are different. I told you about that in the water, and I'm telling you about this in every other product. So if some customer comes along and says, oh, you know, Joe Dokes gave me a better price on the mugs, you just turn around and ask them, well, do you want the handle to break on that mug? And they'll say no, and say, well, you better watch out. Cheap mugs have broken handles. Do you want products imprinted with toxic inks? Of course, they're going to say, no, I don't. You say, well, you know what? A lot of these overseas products that the inks are not regulated, and you don't want people using non-toxic ink products. There's a different way to go about this and just selling cheaper. Ask people, confront them, ask them about quality. They'll all want quality, and then you can pitch the fact that you sell value. I book most of my orders, at least 75% of them, with USA-based family-owned suppliers. The reason that I do that is I get better service. An example would be ID Line, who I buy all my name badges from. You can get a name badge sample kit from Anders at idline.com. And the thing that distributors don't really operate, or they don't really understand, is they see a cheaper price from one of these mega suppliers. The reason that the mega suppliers are cheaper than family-owned suppliers usually is they don't train their customer service people. The people don't know what they're doing. The turnover is constant, and it keeps you from selling more orders. Family-owned suppliers have knowledgeable customer service reps who can actually teach you how to sell an order. That's like ID Line is one of the best in the industry. Another family-owned business that I deal with is Edwards. I talk about Edwards in all of my webinars because Edwards is family-owned since 1867. These hedge fund suppliers you're buying from, these big ones, I'm not going to mention them, they've been around for what, 5 years? Edwards has been around for, I don't know how many years that is, but it's a long time. They're an old brand. It goes back as far as Levi's. And this is the type of supplier that you need to buy from, a family-owned supplier with a background. And I tell all my customers where my products come from. I'm not afraid to tell somebody that that the 100 polos they get or 200 polos are coming from Edwards, because I don't sell people that would go behind my back. I have distributors, they want sales sheets that are unbranded. I always send the supplier branding on my sales sheet to people because I don't sell clients that I cannot trust. That's the best explanation that I have for that. So don't be afraid of telling people where your products come from. Make it known that you're buying from legitimate suppliers. Now here, Edwards has a custom clothing program. Now I've not talked about this in detail in my other webinars, but selling custom clothing creates constant reorders and separates you from beginners. Have you ever tried to sell anybody a beach volleyball bikini? Well, I have not, but there's a market for that. Edwards can make that product. Here are six or seven really cool different products that Edwards can make in their custom program. Now the minimums on this are high, but it shows your customers that you're thinking ahead. And Brett Guerin, B. Guerin at edwardsgarment.com, is one of the nicest people that I've ever met. He will do 20-minute presentations to show you how to sell custom clothing programs. I'm just trying to give you ideas that will get you out there where you can sell those 200 orders in 60 days. Here's some other family-owned suppliers that I use. Trainer, second supplier I ever bought from back in, I'm not going to tell you, is back in the 1980s. Quickies family-owned, Southern Plus, Gympire, and Apogee. I buy all my awards from Apogee. That's a great little offer right there. $50 off your first order of 150. That's from a family-owned supplier who really wants your business. Here are two Edwards offers that are just great for a free digitizing on your outerwear order, or a free sample of one of their dress shirts. All you have to do is email Brett, tell him you want that, send him your shipper number, he'll get it right out to you. Cloth Promotions is family owned. There's ID Line again. And Burlacamp, I've known Ken Burlacamp. That supplier's been around since the 20s. There are 2 coupons from them. None of these suppliers that I'm pitching you will go behind your back and sell direct. They will give you good service, and their customer service people know what they're talking about. Now, I talked about the water before. I've talked about who to sell water to in these webinars previously. Alexis Springs is family owned. The Sorowich family owns that. Mark runs the company. He is here in Dallas. I've known him forever. They will treat you right. And I've showed you that Brian at alexissprings.com can get you water samples. But everywhere you go, be a seller. You go to buy a car, talk to them about bottled water. Car dealers need bottled water. You have a loved one in the hospital, go call on materials management, marketing, personnel. When you're in the hospital, they're going to have a hard time not seeing you. If you have somebody in that hospital and you're giving them money, you go where you bank or finance a mortgage, they need water. If you have a zoo, aquarium, museums, wherever you go, chat up the gift shop manager, talk to the director. You live in an apartment, or friend or family in an apartment, chat up the apartment manager. They all need bottled water. And that is the way that you find new customers, by using the edges you have. And the greatest edge of the Alexis Springs is it has spring water on that label, not from a municipal water source. Now, that is enough about water, but I get upset about water because people all the time lose business from that because they don't know the difference. Now, I train my customers to text me. The most important thing that I do now when I make a sales call is I want their cell phone number. Not so much I want their email, I want their regular number, I want their cell phone number, and then I want to like them on Facebook or LinkedIn. So what I do is anytime I go to see somebody or I get a new contact, I am trying to get their cell phone number, because if I made a pitch with them, if I either did that by email, I did that online, I did that in person, I always send them a thank you salutation. Like one on the right, I wanted to thank you so much for your time yesterday. I talked to you about whatever, and I'm suggesting you buy umbrellas. Didn't have to do any research on this. I pulled those little flyers up from Southern Plus website. Don't have to go look for 150 different umbrella choices. I'm just saying, does one of these umbrellas be good for you? They're either going to come back and say yes or no, or yeah, Don, I'd like to look for some umbrellas. Here's a back to school flyer. Here's one that Southern Plus has for Halloween coming up. Be a product suggester and deal with your customers by cell phone texting. They will not ignore you if you do that. Remember, cell phones are everything today. And you sell my orders by qualifying prospects in person. I know too many distributors that get hot on these orders, and you know what? They're not even dealing with the decision maker. They think they are, and they waste so much time. This election mess, just gets nastier every day. So I take advantage of that by working every political campaign that comes along, by either being a donor, a volunteer, or I go out and knock on doors for people. The reason I do this is I meet other business owners. Not only are mats great to sell to political candidates, they are also good to sell to campaign workers. But the main thing that I'm talking about on this is I meet like-minded people, because if you don't believe the way the politicians the way I do, I have to be mad at you. That's the way it's gotten in society. I really don't get mad at people about that, but they do. Volunteer, do work elections. That's how you can meet people and just say, you're the owner? Oh, you own a plumbing company. Hey, can I come see you? That is another great way to qualify people. Now, I would also develop monthly product sales plans. Every month, before that month, I would have a product that I was going to pitch to my customers by email, text, by mail, however I'm going to do it. The first one of these months that I'm going to talk to you about is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. These are Southern Plus pink products. I like Southern Plus. Greta Adams owns that company. She is a stand-up supplier. Order entry at southernplus.com for samples, but start selling pink products now. And that umbrella on the left is really cool because when it rains on that umbrella, that breast cancer awareness magically appears in a step and repeat imprint all over that umbrella. That is a cool idea to show your customers now. And to further on our selling pill, excuse me, go too fast, selling pink products now. Cloth Promotion has band doggies. They have the cutest little pink bandanas that can go around your dog's neck. They have head wraps. They have some great pink products. Tyler.r at clothpromotions.com. If you'd like to have those samples, and Snugs, who I talked to you about on thermos, they have a whole line of pink products. SnugsUSA.com for their product selections. Start selling pink products now to get ahead of people. Remember, we're supposed to be product suggesters, not product followers. Now, here's a September product on the left from Innovation Line. I talked to you about them being able to have those products that can ship in 24-hour service. Well, how about showing golf towels, full color golf towels as a September product? Golf will be big in the fall. Here's a November product right over here, dress socks. It's going to be warmer. No, it's going to be cooler out. People are going to be wearing higher type socks. How about imprinted socks? These are both great products from Innovation Line to start pitching now. See Hodge at innovation/line.com for those samples. And what I would do is text and email these flyers to all prospects and customers. And my bigger customers, I would actually deliver actual samples to them. Staying ahead of your customers, remember, is the way to keep control of them. Another thing to start selling right now are holiday season products. Our next webinar will focus on this exclusively, but one thing that I would do would be sell logo mats for holiday parties and holiday celebrations. You can sell mats for Halloween. You can sell mats for Thanksgiving. You can sell mats for Christmas and Hanukkah. You can sell them for the holidays. M. Wadsworth at logomatsllc.com for samples. Families want to be reminded of happy times. So I would start off my holiday selling by selling mats. And I cannot say enough about how you should be calling on recovering markets today. 3 recovering markets being trade shows. I went to the ASI Chicago show in July. Was once a show with 1,000 booths, now has about half that many. Doesn't matter, they're coming back. Networking events are coming back, and tailgating will be fierce this September as people love to tailgate. And a new supplier that I'm going to talk about is Showdown. I've known Kevin Walsh, who runs that company forever. They are the top display supplier in the industry, bar none. I buy from them, I recommend them. They have complete trade show booths, the whole booth, like the complete booth you can sell to customers. They have roll up and tear down flags, stand up displays. They've got everything you need, plus a 5% off an order coupon. Cannot say enough good things about Showdown. Distributors ask me all the time who to buy tents from. Well, here's a tent that I think is really cool for tailgating. How about one with inside top printing? I have never sold those. I didn't even know they existed till I went and looked at their website. That would be something I would have been selling all along. Inside top printing tents are so cool. Showdown has every type of size tent that you need for tailgating. They have table covers for tables for food preparation. And how about for bars, restaurants, or for events that have tabletops? I didn't even know that round tablecloths existed. I'm sitting here doing this webinar telling you how to sell. I learned 2 things from Showdown by just going to their website. Now, if you want to meet decision makers, call on craft breweries, bars, and restaurants. Edwards is a great start for that because all restaurants have uniforms. craft breweries need custom bar tap handles. You can get those from Apogee. You go in a brewery, you're going to meet the decision maker usually because the family that owns the brewery is usually there. But you want a great tailgating item? How about beer pong games? You can get these from Snuggs E. Those are my two friends, Brittany David and Brandon Brown from Snuggs. I have known them forever. They brought up this about the beer pong game. How about selling that for tailgating? You can find that on the Snuggs website. Those are a great way to get business going in recovering markets. Another thing to do is to chat up bartenders. I've never talked about bar mats in the webinars. I always talk about the regular doormats. But chat up bartenders when you go in a bar or in a restaurant. They all need bar mats. And there's a bar mat right there for Myers Rum. Those are printed full color. They last forever. This is a great product. Again, we were selling water everywhere we went to spend money, like car dealers, mortgage companies. Well, we're spending money on liquor or food. So chat up the manager or chat up the owner anytime you go in a bar or restaurant. And you need to use sites from suppliers who know what they're doing. Edwards has a great website. You can go on their site and catch these great looking product images when you're texting your customers, like I told you would be a good thing to do. Use quality images like that in your text. A lot of suppliers cheat their photography. They do it themselves. Edwards has professional photos, just like Southern Plus does. Use these suppliers that actually produce good, or let's say great visuals. Edwards can do virtual samples, sales sheets, sizing guides, product videos, e-catalogs, client presentation. That's all on their website. And there's Brett, B. Guerin at edwardsgarment.com. If you will email him in 20 minutes, he can turn you into a uniform selling expert, or remember the Edwards X, on the custom clothing. And here's another superior site, which is Showdown, I just talked to you about. You see those door banners right there? I didn't even know door banners existed until I got on that Showdown website. I could have probably sold a bunch of those if I'd ever even known they existed. I feel so bad about that, but I'm glad that I learned about it. I learned about it by going on Showdown's virtual showroom site. You'd click right there on there, click here to take a tour, and it would take you, being on their website, would take you and show you all of their products. And you can even have a custom Showdown display website. Great supplier. Use these superior supplier sites to build your business. I just talked about the realtors. Now I'm going to talk about the dentist. Dentists that have back doors, family dentist operations. Individual dentists have their own office. They have a back door, such as the one that you're seeing there on the top half of the screen to the right. That's where the dentist goes in the back. The dentist never comes in the front where you are. So if you want to sell dentists, like D Magazine, they have the whole list of the best dentists in Dallas. What I would do is go find the emails, go find the how to contact them, find out where they are, and go leave bottled water on that back door, catalog from Alexis Springs, a 1-foot mat from Logo Mats, catalog from Logo Mats, and write them a note. Leave it at the back door, and I guarantee you, the person who owns that business will pick that up, and that's when you start your selling process. Dentists must have hydration and clean offices. Another market to focus on where you can build a bounce back card program up. There's 4 dental labels on the screen. Every one of them says spring water, not purified sewer water. I'm telling you, this is how to get customers. And you need to implement and sustain total contact programs. I am telling you that total contact programs are similar to what I did when I did the bounce back program when I lost the Dallas Times Herald as a customer. I sent out the bounce back cards offering the scissors. I also did them offering a Schaefer pen where it says right stuff. I also did offering a Howard Miller clock. When I sent these things out, I would send them out 3 times to lists that were created by students that I would employ, and we would mail these over and over and over again. But today, since we can now do email, we can now do web calling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to email greetings to people that I've determined their contact information. I'm going to text them. I'm going to leave them voicemail message. I'm going to mail them flyers several times. I'm going to follow up, and I'm mailing bounce back cards. They could be products that you would offer, like chairs from Southern Plus, these great farmers market bags. They're sip and slip ceramic drinkware. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying to do is catch somebody to send you a message back where you get a customer. Now, I also have created direct mail response programs. I did this with TradeNet. In fact, if you don't know, Distributor Central is owned by Tom Mertz, who owns TradeNet. I've known Tom for 20 years. Smartest guy I've ever known in my life. He helped me to sign this program. We were members of the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce. They had 800 members, and I wanted to see how much business I could get out of the chamber. So my ex-wife and I created those postcards with a magnet with our logo on it. Back then we had a little drive-in movie theater screen logo, and we mailed those cards 3 different times to the 800 members of the Grapevine Chamber. I'm calling these call to action magnet cards. The bottom image will show you, pushes you to the website. So I designed, as Alice can help you with, a whole website just on selling magnets. Not only did I sell 8 orders by doing this, of those 8 customers, 3 of them are still with me today, more than 20 years later. And I also picked up several magnet orders. This is the way to differentiate yourself, by creating a custom site and pushing people to it by email and physical mail. You can also create a site for guaranteed shipment products, like I talked to you about Innovation Line. Create a site where if your customer wants 1-day service, you send them the site, and everything on that site is 1-day service. Use the card sent to sell immediate orders and find new customers. And if you want to be seen and you want to make more contacts, here's an event I'm going to tonight. I'm saying be seen at night. I belong to the TCU Alumni Association. Great way to meet like-minded horned frogs who are very loyal to one another. And if you go to these events, like I'm going to this one tonight, it's right up here by my house. It's from 6 to 8. It's TCU fans in Dallas. I'll meet 200 people at that thing, and I guarantee you I'll get 3 or 4 new customers just by showing up and telling people what I am doing. And besides doing volunteer work, alumni events are the best place in the world to meet eager buyers. And you want to know who to find out to help build you those mailing lists? Hire students to help create contact programs. Students need jobs. They need to work before they graduate to look like they have been applying themselves. I know that because I had to act like I wanted to work when I was a junior and senior at TCU to keep my parents from not focusing on my bad grades. So what I would do is I used my experience, and I started hiring college students to make telephone calls for me, do my mailing programs, and you can use college students or you can use high school students. There's my friend David Blaze again. I want to pitch him on that buying program. David is an honest guy. Don't fall for something like these other buying programs that they're not what they seem. David is the real deal. Now here's something where I make more money. I don't ever pass discounts along to sell orders. I know some distributors do that, and if that's what you want to do, it's fine with me. But like Showdown has got that 5% off an order coupon. What I'm going to do if I don't need the 5% off to close the sale, I just take the discount and I keep the money and sell it full price. Same way with cloth promotions. I love cloth promotions. They have EQP right now on their lens cloths. Well, I'm not going to sell it based on EQP. If EQP is 5 cents cheaper than the regular quantity price, and I can make an extra 20 bucks, I'm going to do it. And that $50 off your first order with Apogee, I'm going to sell it for the 150, and I'm going to keep the 50 extra dollars. So always sell orders at catalog prices. I do that because I can build my profit margin up by keeping those discounts. Now let's talk about that bottled water for the last time. Many water suppliers use bait and switch tactics to sell their water. They only ship from one location. If you ship to another area, they add a surcharge. They don't tell you that when the order is entered, but if you'll email Brian at alexissprings.com, he can tell you what the freight estimate is to go to your customer, no matter where they are in the customer country, because they have 7 shipping locations. Don't lose these bottled water orders or any orders by other people that lie to you. Now, here's another opportunity for meeting owners in person. Visit food trucks, another opportunity where the owner will be present. Trainer has everything you need to sell food trucks, all kinds of food packaging. They have color changing cups, they have napkins, and if you want something really neat, Jimpire has seed paper coffee wraps. So if you're ordering coffee at one of these food trucks, why don't they give back that coffee with a seed paper wrap and let them communicate with the buyer of the coffee that, hey, put this in water and soak it, put it in dirt, and it'll grow a plant. Great way to connect. Harvey at jimpire.com if you want the seed paper wraps, and there's Janelle M at trainergraphics.com if you'd like to have trainer samples. Now here's my pitch again, my ending pitch on Promo Social Post. Greg is helping me. This is a flyer that he's created for me, and I'm showing one with my logo at the top, and at the bottom is straight line type. I'm doing that because I'm showing you, even if you don't have a logo, he can make your flyer look really sharp. Free month on this. Won't charge anything. All you got to do is email him, Greg at promosocialpost.com. Say, Sanders said you'd do it for me for free. He will. I recommend him. He is a up and up guy. Here's David again. There's that little URL. If you'll watch that little show, smarteqp.com/Don, it will tell you exactly how David can help you. And that is the end of all of my pitches for them. Now, here are all the email addresses from every supplier that I've talked about, and you can request samples from them. There is my email address. And if you'd like to have the replay of the webinar, if you just email me after this webinar is over, as soon as I can get it downloaded, I will send it to you. And now Alex is going to lead us with our question and answer program. So if you've got any questions, just email them or do the question things and I'll answer them for you the best way I can. I've had one myself come in about the mailing programs, wanting to know how much I spent on those programs. My issue on that was not how much I spent. My issue was I needed business. So I did what I needed to do on that. I did not know what the actual budget was. I didn't worry about that because I need business. I don't need to worry about cutting costs when I'm looking for customers. So do you have any questions, Alex?
Yeah, it looks like we have a couple questions here, Don.
Right.
So started off, says, are we limited strictly to products on DC preferred suppliers, or can we add our own for building company stores and websites? Yeah, so all our websites are fully e-commerce enabled and also fully customizable. You can build company stores, narrowing down your product collections to just certain products, same as when we showed an example for the customer presentation. If the supplier is not currently in our database, you can create your own custom products and make them orderable on your website or your company store, just as if they were in our system. Let's see, is the presentation being recorded for later review? Don, don't you send that out within 24 hours usually, or they can just email you?
Or they just email me and then I can send it to them. It
Okay.
just takes a while to download it, and then I have to clean up the front, and it's easy to do. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just email Don and he'll send you a copy of the recording.
Now I have.
Uh,
You have another question, Alex?
no, I'm just going down the list here. Let's see. It would be nice to have that info in print form. I don't know if you're referring to Distributor Central that we went over. Let me share my screen real quick. So I just briefly touched based on what we were talking about, but if you go to distributorcentral.com, we have a resources tab, and then you can go to training videos. And so in the example I talked about the product list tool, if you scroll down to recently added, click load more, we have two videos featured. So first is a presentation tools, which goes into more in depth, and then which is part one, sorry, down here, product presentation tools. And then part two goes into the customer presentation, which would be more geared towards the website. So the difference between the two is with the presentation tools for like email and products, you want to try to consider that, keep that down to 10 products or less, because it is going to all show up in an email. And so we limited it to right around 10 products. That way your customer's not just constantly scrolling, like let's say you had 20 products you wanted to send them. At that point, you can build the presentation, which would be tied to a website, and then it's also, customized to their logo and all that good stuff. So it's personalized basically for them. So you can also do the presentation with one product to however many you want, but with email products, it's 10 products or less. And then if you need to do more than 10, use the customer presentation with the website. Go to the next question. Can we get a list of all the sample emails? Yeah, that's on that page, that last page. Let me see if I can get back here. Don, you
Yeah,
still on that page?
it's on the last page. Yeah, there it is.
Looks like it's not showing right now. It's on just there it is. So yeah, all the things that Don talked about, all the, the suppliers and the products, the contacts are right listed here. And as I mentioned earlier, my direct contact is right there under Distributor Central, A. Garcia. So you can either email info at or me directly, get you taken care of.
Now here's somebody who wants to know about the leaving the stuff at the dentist office. Um, Dentists are there Monday through Thursday. The dentists that I know are usually closed on Friday, but and of course they're closed. Most of them are closed on Saturday and Sunday. And so what I do on that program, like if I was doing the water, I would take the bottled water with the Lexus Springs catalog. I'd take the little sample mat from Logo Mats with their catalog, and I take that by on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Usually a dentist, I know several family-owned dentists. The reason I know this is I know they catch by their office on Friday or Saturday to check on if they're making teeth. I mean, cosmetic dentists make teeth, and so they'll have somebody in there making a tooth that they're going to put in for somebody on Monday. So usually the dentist will go by there and check, make sure that's going, and so that's when you're going to get the buyer, the dentist, to pick up that stuff by leaving it on Friday or Saturday and Sunday. And what I do to see if they do it is I would deliver that stuff out on Friday, and then I'm nosy. So on Saturday, I'd drive by there and just go by and see if they picked it up. And if I saw that it was gone, then I knew I was on my way to selling. So that's how I do that. It's not going to work with big dentists, but it will work with family-owned dentists, and cosmetic dentists have big money. So that's the question that I had. So that's the way I would handle that.
Okay, Don, we got one here. It says, are the suppliers giving you the 5% off discount? Correct me if I'm wrong, but as long as they use that promo code that you listed, they'll get that 5% off.
They will, yeah. That because they provide me that. So like with the showdown displays, I you just put that code in when you enter the order. I just got that thing on yesterday, so we haven't been active with using it, but that would be the way to get that off of that order. Yes.
Okay, got another one for you, Don. Can you describe a bounce back program?
Well, the bounce back program, the Dallas Times Herald was my biggest customer, and I lost their business. One day I went down there and called on them, and I got a $4,000 T-shirt order. And then the next day I got a fax that the Dallas Times Herald had been sold to the Dallas Morning News, and all orders were canceled. And I had made $1,200 on the T-shirt order, and besides that, I lost all that business from the Herald, and I just freaked out. So I hired an ad agency and developed a card program, a 3-part mailer, which whoever's asking that, if they want to email me, I can email you the copies of the cards. And I mail those cards, where if you return the card, you got a gift. And I was sending out 100 of those cards a week. Like, I might sell on Monday, I'd send to 20 architects. Tuesday, I'd send to 20 car dealers. And then the next week, the ones I got back, I would go call on. The ones that did not, the ones that hadn't responded, I'd mail again, and we'd mail again, and I would mail each one of those contacts 3 times. And if I do that, I'd have about an 8% return rate. And that's how I got all my new customers. And in a year's time, not only did I have all the business back that I left from the Herald by new customers, I actually was selling more than I had before.
Nice, nice. So this looks like a DC one. Is DC easier to use to be able to make websites? I used it many years ago and it was very time consuming. Yeah, a lot has changed. I don't know when the last time you used it. We used to have an old legacy website. Then this was probably like 3, 4 years ago, where it wasn't responsive like our new platform. So our new platform, once you build your website, it automatically transitions down to cell phone, tablet, laptop, and of course desktop. Whereas before it was just kind of a desktop view. It would shrink down the size and you'd have to like pinch and zoom sometimes, but that's all gone. We phased that out and we only focus on the responsive websites. Also, our websites now come with a free SSL certificate, which if you're not familiar with that, makes the entire site secure. And if you need help building a website, just email us and we can build one for you. Put your logo on it, match the color theme, map a domain to it if you have one, get you going. Or we do have, if you want to try it on your own, we do have under the resources tab, we have videos that go over how to edit and customize your website.
Well, we have one more questions here, and then we will let everybody go. Someone wants to know, or Rick wants to know, what's the best way to get suppliers to do your orders for you? And I have found is to know the owner of the supplier. And there's too many people that come along in the industry today. They don't know anybody at the supplier, and they think that they're doing the supplier a favor by selling their products. Well, they're really not. They have the attitude that I'm doing the supplier a favor by selling their products. Well, I don't look at it that way. It's like Gympire. If I was to sell something for Gympire, I know Harvey Mackler. If I was having a problem in the order, I call Harvey Mackler. If I was having a problem with an order with logo mats, I wouldn't, but I know Miles Wadsworth, who's the president. And same way with Quickie. I know Mike Burns that owns Quickie. I have relationships with suppliers that I've built up over the years, and I find them by going to trade shows and chatting them up, just like I would with customers. And so if you really want to get orders produced, you need to meet the owners or the decision makers. And I find by doing that at trade shows, and also I find out it by paying my bills in less than 10 days. I do that so I have a good credit rating with that supplier. And I also answer my emails promptly. I don't leave them hanging. And so if you want good service from these suppliers, the way to do it is to be a reliable buyer, don't have an attitude, don't push the supplier around, and stick to their delivery dates, and don't try and make them go away from that. So I want to, Alex, you did an absolutely great job today, and I'm going to give you a shout out for the people that are, listen to the webinar, that Alex can help you immensely. And with the way things are and it being harder to talk to people, you've got to have your web presence up, and you've got to do a different way of promoting yourself and contacting customers. And next month we'll have another webinar, and I want to thank everybody for listening. And as soon as I get it downloaded, get it cleaned up, I'll send it out. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for being part of our webinar. Bye.